Hello everyone, welcome back to the Magnificent Mags channel. Before that match started, I hope you've had a good weekend, but it's probably been slightly ruined by how awful that game was. Look, I'm not going to snuff at a point away to Bournemouth because they're a bogey team. We haven't won there since 2020. The battered were up here 4-1 last season. I said they were the best team to come to St James's last season. Justin Kluivert was excellent in that game, but yeah, that game is not one that'll live long in the memory. I'm just walking back now, so I just want to do this quick ad hoc video. Watched it at the Anson in Wallsend following its refurb with my best mate, and yeah, that game was just forgettable. When the lineup was announced, look, I'd heard the rumours of what the lineup might have been before the game, and then it was confirmed to be that actual lineup. And yeah, I thought it was maybe 5-2-3 when we were in possession, and then when we were out of possession it was a 5-4-1, but it turned out to be a 3-5-2, and we had wing backs in Hall and Livramento. And I feel like Bournemouth's tactics, I said at half time, were to it looked like they wanted to get quick balls in behind with non-existent midfield, because it was just Tonali in Miley in there, and the midfield was non-existent. Look, I know we had Hall and Livramento as wing backs, but the midfield was pretty non-existent, and what Bournemouth were doing was just getting those quick balls in behind it, and then they were just looking to run at the defence. And our plan to counter that was basically try and flood the midfield when we realised this and force them wide, but that didn't work either. So what we resorted to in the end was just put loads of bodies around the box and defend every shot that they're going to pep at. And look, that tactic worked in the end. We're seen off a flurry of attacks. I was worried with the way Bournemouth started the game. We're record against this team because it feels like, I've joked for years that Eddie Howe has a non-compete clause against Bournemouth, and Andoni Iraola seems to kind of have Eddie Howe's number in recent encounters. He still hasn't lost to him. But look, yeah, solid point. I'll give credit to the defence. They were solid all game. I thought Malik Chow, he had a tidy debut, but at times when he's in possession, he's a bit too casual, and I will admit that he was lucky to stay on second half. I think the referee was lenient in terms of not sending him off when that free kick was given away on the edge of the box. It may be because we had some cover, but he was a lucky boy to stay on. I felt Tino was lucky as well in terms of switching off for their offside goal. We had our own chances as well. I feel that Murphy should have squared it for Willock when he was clean through, but he didn't. And that's what I mean. I said it in my summary, like my final word yesterday from the Barcelona game. When you're on top, and it felt like we were second half, you've got to take your chances, and that was probably our most clear-cut opportunity first half. But yeah, Murphy just wrong decision making. Poor decision making, should I say? So yeah, it is frustrating, but yeah, we're keeping clean sheets away from home, but we just can't seem to score, and it is very, very worrying. And I feel like what we need is time on the training ground to get the players up to speed, work on the tactics, trying to get them firing. But we don't have that luxury at the moment because Johan Wissa's injury has compounded the situation. I feel the club, I said it yesterday, should have been stronger with Congo and said he's not going because he barely trained, went and played 2 games, and now he's out for 4 or 5 weeks till after the next international break. And we're having to manage Voltemada. And I was critical that he didn't start against Barcelona because it felt like we didn't have a threat. And you know what? Out the attacking players today, I'll give Voltemada credit because his hold-up play, his link-up play, his little layoffs were very impressive. He had a solid game, and yeah, he wasn't lucky. And that penalty decision against him, look, I can probably see why it wasn't given because the handball against Tonali, I think it was Byrne who hit it into Tonali, and Bournemouth called for a handball. So I think like the ref was trying to level it up, because they went insufficient contact, but I'm sorry, insufficient contact. He was like that. You can see him pulling on the back of his shirt. So yeah, it was a turgid display. Look, I felt we were better second half than Bournemouth. We probably just edged it, but obviously Bournemouth had chances at the end. That silly foul we gave away on the edge of the box when they had the free kick. Fortunately, Nick Pope saved it. And again, I've got to give credit to Nick Pope. I felt well, man of the match was Sven Botman. Sven Botman was a colossus. I think Burn had a solid enough game as well. Like I said with Chow was tidy enough. But yeah, Sven Botman was fantastic. And Nick Pope again, like I've said before, I feel that now he's got proper competition in Aaron Ramsdale. Nick Pope is actually like upped his game. And look, that's another clean sheet for him this season. He's kept 4 clean sheets now in 5 league games. But we do look toothless up front, and that's a massive worry. And then with Wissa being out, and obviously Gordon the day, and then he didn't bring on Joe Linton and Bruno, which I found weird. I thought, like, with 10 minutes to go, you could have maybe brought them on, try and change the game, and we had a bit of momentum. But then Bournemouth wrestled the initiative back in their favour. And I'm just thinking, like, why didn't you bring Bruno and Joe Linton on? Because are they really going to play on Wednesday night against League 2 Bradford? Oh, sorry, I think the League 1 now, aren't they? League 1 Bradford's, like, I thought they might have come on and tried to, like, give her a bit impetus in the game. But like I said at the start of this quick video, without Joe Linton or Gordon, we've got no press, so we're massively ineffective. And I just felt we didn't get Voltamada in the game enough. Joe Willock as well. Joe Willock, look, I just think he's done here. He's the best part of his game seemed to be like he'd get up the pitch, he'd knock it past players and then do them for pace, and he'd really drag the team up. But he was so ineffective today. Like, the only like real opportunity he had was if, like I said before, then Murphy had squared it, and Willock might have had a chance to put a 1-0 up, but he lost possession so many times. He's just such an ineffective player. And it feels like when Joe Willock's on the pitch, you do have 10 players. And I hate saying that when it's a player still playing for her, but he's just not effective anymore. And look, I want to say this as well. We questioned it before the game. Despite the exertions against Barcelona, Dan Burn played again. And I just felt, does he deserve a rest? I don't know. Like, I know players want to play, but he rested Bruno and Joe Linton today, and sometimes it just feels like Eddie Howe will not drop Dan Burn. It feels like he played a back 5 today just so he didn't have to make the choice between Sven Botman and Dan Burn. And if I was Sven Botman, I'd be sitting there thinking, am I going to play more games? Like, Dan Burn's constantly in the team. And yeah, don't get us wrong, I love Dan Burn, everything he's done here. I rate him as my player of the season last season, but at times you've got to think, like, what does Sven Botman have to do to get back in the team? But yeah, it was just an ineffective lineup. Look, when I seen the lineup at the start of the game, I said it with the lads. I would have happily took a point when I seen the lineup, but on reflection of the game, do I feel we could have won it second half? Maybe. Do I feel, well, my hair's gone all over the place. Do I feel that Bournemouth could have won it at times? Yes, too. And look, based on the game, do I think that we had chances to win it? Of course we did. Do I feel that Bournemouth had some chances where they could have won it? Yes. But this might seem contradictory, but did either team deserve to win the game? No. I don't feel either team done enough to win that game. And yeah, it's a solid point. We haven't lost away from home yet. We haven't conceded a goal yet, but we also haven't scored a goal yet. And again, it's just so frustrating. But as long as Johan Wissa remains out, we're going to have to play Voltamada, and we can't rotate so much. And then it goes back to Wednesday night. Will Bruno and Joe Linton play? You have a feeling that they might, not coming on the day. Then I'd probably expect to see Lewis Hall get some more minutes, Aaron Ramsdale. But like I said, it's a point away from home against a team who have caused lots of problems in recent seasons, so you can't begrudge it. It was a fair result in the end. Neither team deserved to win, so we'll build on that. And then we've got 3 home games out of 4 coming up before the next international break. Bradford in the League Cup on Wednesday night, and then we've got Arsenal. So I'm hoping that we can fire on all cylinders against Arsenal, who are kicking off. Are they kicked off? Yeah, they've kicked off right now against Manchester City. And then obviously we'll then go to Union Saint-Gilloise, and then we're finished with Nottingham Forest before the international break. But anyway, that's my post-match thoughts. Frustrating game. I felt we had chances where we could have done better and maybe got a win in parts, but Bournemouth could have as well, reflecting on that first half. But yeah, those tactics were awful, and I'm happy to come away with a point in the end. You've got to try and take the positives, but there's still a lot of work to be done with this team. and it is kind of worrying that we can't defend so well away from home, but we can't score. We need to try and get that balance right, especially with big games coming up against the likes of Arsenal. But that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please do comment, and if you do like my videos, please do subscribe as well. It really helps the channel. But for now, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.